Aloha, everybody in the house. So happy to be here. I am Morayana, your host and guide here on Awaken Your Divine Blueprint. I am so excited to be here with you today. Today, we have an amazing episode talking about money. Money. How does that feel in your body when I say that? I take 30 people, put them all in a line. If I say money, each person will react differently to that word because there's so much conditioning around the word money. So many songs around money. Money makes the world go around, the world go around. I can be vulnerable and share that 2025 have been humbled with this journey for me because some of you that know my path, I've been on Beyond Mystic and it was a very big show. And for my personal reasons, I decided to leave. And then everything shifted for me in a lot of ways and a lot of good ways too. Like I've been showing up full on for my business and working on figuring out other ways, being creative, becoming a co-creator. Though I will say that through this journey of what I've been humbled and experienced is where money activation, the 10-day money activation was born. I've been wanting to sit with my own subconscious and do theta healing on myself throughout this whole year. The desire, the thirst to go really deep into the money consciousness for me was in the past 3 months. But because of work and I couldn't find the time. We've been doing so much work around relationships and around the love thyself, which is very much part of the journey of abundance, of expansion. And I couldn't find the time. And I really wanted to do it for myself and just sit with myself days after days and going really deep. But then I was like, wait, I'm sure other people can really benefit from this work that I do for myself and sit and reprogram my subconscious mind. And I knew that a lot of my belief system have been shaken up, been kind of like rearranged after I left Beyond Mystic, to be honest. Like I was faced with a lot of humbleness, a lot of change. And that rocked my world a lot, my inner world, my security world. I have this lower back pain, and I know that it's coming from a place of like stability. I moved from Bali to Hawaii and everything changed all at once. Not only did I move a country, my work environment changed and a lot of old energies, old thoughts, old voices came back online because I wasn't born in a wealthy home. I was born in a comfortable home and definitely very interesting conditioning around my parents and money. And I will talk about that just a little bit. But, we all are born into either a wealthy home, a not wealthy home, a poor home. We all have different ideas and concepts that we were born into when it comes to money. And let's say, for example, my parents, my dad was raised in a shack. They moved in a very young age. My dad was like 3 months old. He was born in Egypt, and then they did aliyah, which is a word to come back to the homeland in Israel. And they moved there and they lived in a shack, 5 brothers and sisters. And so my dad, and then his dad died when my dad was, I think, like 16 or 14. And my dad had to go and bring money for the family. And he moved to the United States. And that's how I ended up here. But he had to reprogram. Well, he didn't really reprogram. Honestly, my dad had to like work really hard. This is my dad's voice. I worked really hard for the money that I have. And my dad had abundance of it, but always had a mindset of like, for example, when I was a kid, he would buy me like 10 t-shirts I would never wear instead of one. And they were because they were affordable. And instead of buying me one shirt that's a little more expensive that I would wear, like that's the concept, just to have a lot of the cheaper stuff. And because there's more, but nobody would ever use it, then rather than having something like luxurious or nice that you would wear a lot. And that's just like one item, for example, right? And my dad, bless his soul, like he has been blessed me and helped me throughout my journey so much. And I just want to share that. But it's because of the way he was raised and what he witnessed as a kid and how much he worked hard for his money. And I think in the collective consciousness in general, there's a lot of like, you need to work hard. There is some of that mindset of like, oh, in order to succeed, you need to work hard. Or in order for me to be successful, I need to do this and this and this and this. And as we evolve in consciousness, we understand that everything is energy and energy is consciousness. And so the more we prepare our vessel, our body, the body is the container, right, of light. And light is the energy. Light is what brings us anything that we want. But we need to match that frequency of light. And the frequency of light is really fast, like light, it's fast. You can't catch it, right? So that's the vibration. We want to elevate our vibration. We want to elevate our physical body so we can match the frequency of the light. And to match the frequency of the light, we need to prepare our bodies. What happens to the body if we have all these heavy conditioning and heavy belief systems around money that isn't in alignment with that divine creation of being a co-creator of your own reality? It gets in the way. It blocks the abundance. And I'm definitely not, I'm definitely, I mean, everything is a reflection, right? And I could say that this year has humbled me. And I'm saying this with a big open heart because I know that everything is for a reason. Everything is showing us a path, a lesson. I am so open to whatever the creator wants to teach me and show me. I'm open to humbleness. I'm open to expansion. I'm open to the light of the creator. I'm also open to learning through my blockages. I'm open to learning through transformation because it's just one day you're here and one day you're there. My dad always used to say, you can have all the money in the universe. When you die, you can't even take your socks to the grave. You could put it there, but it won't keep you warm, you know? So you can have all the money in the world, and also that doesn't bring you happiness. What brings you happiness is the quality of the love, of the light that you hold in your physical body. That light is going to keep you happy. That light is going to keep you smiling. That light is going to bring you joy. But that light is also going to match the frequency of abundance. Now, I have done many activations related to abundance in the past. I'm sure you've known if you've been with me on this journey. I have never, ever done an activation around money. Money is a very specific matter because we can also choose to work on the rainbows, or we can choose to work on material, like anything. We can work on relationships. We can work on a specific something that you want to call in, but we are focusing, laser focusing on the word money because it's what's really ruling, or we're conditioned to right now. That is the exchange. Now we have crypto, there's gold, there's all the other ways, but the main thing that we are trading energy with right now to get something, to give something and get something, is money. That is the main currency. And so we're going to focus on money. Now, as I was writing this yesterday, and that's why I had a change for, I don't know if you even knew I was doing a money activation, but I knew I was doing a money activation. I've been sharing it on my shows. And I decided that we were supposed to start on August 22nd, but man, I was writing from 9 a.m. yesterday till like 8 p.m. last night. I was just writing. It's 10 days. And I was like, Spirit, let's do a money activation. I know it was coming. And I thought in my head, I was like 5 days. But then suddenly, as I'm writing and channeling, it was like 10 days. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of days. But as I was writing the activation and the information that's going to be there, I was like, okay, is this even enough? There's so much to cover because it's not just about money. It's about our physical vessel. It's about relationships. It's about our divine energy. It's about all the blockages that are holding us in between the light of the creator, the light, the big expansive light that is the matching frequency of abundance to everything that we want. And we need to let go of so much, so much. We need to let go of so much so we can actually get there in the highest alignment with that divine creation, that divine light of creator. So we're going to go into it. The reason I was a little late is because this PDF I have today is quite long, but because we're going to be going into the 10 activations. Now, even if you're not going to do the activation or you're just here to check out the show, stick around. You might learn something around how money holds energy and all the different levels, all the things that I channeled, like, and you'd be like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that, because that's what happened to me when I was channeling and writing this. So let's get into it. So money activation, we are starting on August 25th, and that's going to be all the way to September 3rd. And we are starting this 10-day series. This is like spiritual boot camp, guys, because it's 10 days and every day is going to be 2 hours. So that's 20 hours of rewiring of your subconscious mind. In the depths of your subconscious, we'll be doing psychic surgery. We're going to go into the quantum fields and we're going to rearrange everything that is related to money and all the aspects. It's going to be so deep and so powerful. What we're going to start with 10 days of total transformation, because it really is. And I'm looking forward. And again, I'm doing this really as something that I wanted to do to myself and give myself. And I'm sharing the techniques and what I know to be true to bring the highest change in one's consciousness through this work. And instead of me just taking time off and doing it on my own, I really am sharing my own reprogramming, the own methods that I do, that I heal with everyone to go on this journey with me. So transform scarcity. Okay. The first activation is releasing limiting beliefs. We're going to focus on releasing limiting beliefs around scarcity, time, right? Because most people think they make money with time. And we're going to go deep into that time portal because time is an illusion. And what we're aiming to create is the idea that money is light because it's energy. There's no difference. There is no difference. And money doesn't even have a value. Like money is a piece of paper that has absolutely no value. It's almost like a cosmic joke, right? Like many things in our existence right now. It's a cosmic joke. It's a piece of paper. It has no value, but the whole world is killing each other for it. So we are going to go into the limiting collective beliefs around scarcity, time, and money. And so that's going to be the first day. Clearing limiting beliefs that tie money to fear and scarcity. And actually, fear is going to come later in another activation. We're going to focus on fear around money, but this is just like touching the little bits of it. The body, mind, and soul are reprogrammed to release the illusion of separation between money and love, time, and creation. Money is no longer seen as protection or lack, but as an energy aligned with love and truth. This day opens the pathway to transform your relationship with money, preparing the heart to hold abundance and devotion to light. Now, this is, again, I'm going to say this a lot today. We are preparing our vessel. The vessel is the body, and it's also the heart. The heart is where we feel. And when we feel, we either feel love or we feel something else than love. We might feel sad. We might feel resentment. We might feel a victim. How many of you have ever felt a victim around money? Oh my God, everybody else is doing this, but I can't. And my reality looks like this. How many of you ever felt, if you type on the chat, how many of you ever felt like a victim around money? Like, oh, I'll never make money because of this is this and this and this. Also, something important to be said, if someone has never experienced wealth or never actually experienced money, like in an abundant way, how are they going to know? How are they going to know what that frequency feels like? And so something that I want to share, it's important to share, is that when we do these quantum healings, when we go in there and we remove limiting beliefs, I also make sure that what reprograms your subconscious is that you know how and what it feels like to be wealthy, to have money, to feel that you know what your body and your cells and your subconscious. We can also like bring memories of other lifetimes that you were wealthy and download that so you can remember on an energetic level. If your body remembers what it is like to feel wealthy, you will remember what it is to feel wealthy. It will come back into your field from a past life, that frequency. It's like your body needs to know how and what it feels like. So we're also going to be downloading and replacing these beliefs with those frequencies of remembrance. So you can magnetize that frequency. We're going to download that frequency into your body so your body remembers and is able to magnetize that same frequency. Okay. Day number 2, giving and receiving, which is huge, right? If you are stuck by giving to another or receiving. Do you know how to receive? Does anybody here actually know what receiving feels like? You know how many people, and that, let's not talk about money, friends, even a compliment. How many people that you know, maybe you gave a compliment to a woman and she's like, you're like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And she's like, really? Oh no, I didn't put my makeup today. Da 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 da. Da. Instead of saying, oh my God, thank you. That makes me feel so good. And Ben is saying receiving feels like gratitude, right? Receiving feels like gratitude. Hi, Ben. Um, when we know how to receive, that's going to make a huge shift in our life, because if you don't know how to receive, how are you going to receive from the universe? Oh no, universe, I'm not worthy actually of receiving anything, and I don't know, thank you, universe. Like, maybe give it to another person because they're rich and they know how to handle money, and I'm not rich and I don't know how to handle money. So better off you give it to someone else. Yeah? That's the universe. Because where we're manifesting from, where we're magnetizing from, is from the void, from time and space, as spirit likes to call it through my lingual. So through time and space, if you're going into that void and you don't know how to receive, and you don't know what it feels like to receive, and you actually don't believe you're worthy of receiving, how are you going to ever expand? And giving, if you're blocked by giving to someone else your energy, then you're also cutting the flow. Because if you're if you're rich and you have all the money and you're holding that Four of Pentacles card in the tarot deck. I don't know if you're into tarot, but if there's like a Four of Pentacles, it's this guy that's holding all the pentacles and he's not sharing it. That's going to block your energy field. That's going to block. And I've experienced that this year. Because of the shift that I've experienced, I'm saying these things, but I'm also like humble. I had a more fear to share more into the business, because I was like, oh my God, but what if? I had that, but what if? And you got to let that go. You got to let that block go. You got to give as much free, or give from your heart. You got to give in order to just be in flow. I have a friend on the island. He's kind of Russian. He's like, you got to be in flow. You just need to be flow. Just remember, you need to be flow. So the giving and receiving is such an important aspect of abundance, because when you give, you receive. You also need to learn how to receive. Know that you're worthy of receiving. So we're going to, on day number 2, we're clearing blockages around giving and receiving money, opening the heart to abundance and devotion. When the flow of exchange is stagnant, union within is blocked. Now, why is union so important? It's not the union with another person. We're not talking about divine union right now in partnership. We are talking about the masculine and feminine polarity electric circuit in your heart. Your heart is a portal for manifestation. If you know it or not, it is the hub of your emotions, and it's the hub of electromagnetic field. So when your electromagnetic portal, that hub of your emotional field, is abundant with light, right? Because you take, just like electricity, you take light, a minus and a plus, and you put the wires together, there's light. That light can fill up a whole room and take all the darkness away. Same with the heart. When your electrical circuit is merged harmoniously, it turns the voltage on in your body. That voltage is going to define the amount of light that you are able to magnetize from the external realm. Let that sink in. That voltage that you are able to produce in your heart, in that manifestation portal, your emotional realm, is going, that combination of your emotions and that light and creator's consciousness is going to define the level of abundance that you are able to magnetize, connected to your belief system. Because it's not, the energy is important, but also your belief system around giving and receiving is vital for your evolution. Because even if your voltage is high, but you believe still that you're unworthy of receiving from the universe, receiving money, or some kind of energetic block around money with your belief system, it's not going to work completely. And that's where I feel like for me, just like in a person, my voltage is super high. Maybe not the highest, but I mean, when I say it's not the highest, I mean, there's people that can levitate, right? I'm not there yet, but I have other things that I'm doing. And so I do consider myself that has a high voltage, but maybe something in my belief system is not completely aligned quite yet. This is why I always go back to self and do this work. I'm on the journey just like everybody else, but I found techniques and the source of creation when I connect through theta healing, when I do these downloads, I channel directly through the divine, bringing these subjects. Like I even channeled all of these episodes. Like it comes through me what's needed in order for me to magnetize more money. Then the message is delivered, the information is delivered, and then we do it, right? And then I'm very curious to see the results, what comes after. But if you've been on this journey with me and you've done some work with me, I'm sure that you felt some quantum shifts in your field. And if you have, you're welcome to put them on the chat. All right, sequence number 3. We're only on day 3. Alchemize love and money, restoring union. Again, the union is the electrical current in the heart between material wealth and the heart of love. This activation opens the pathway between material wealth and the heart of divine union. Again, we're evolving and deepening our inner union, that electrical current in the heart, so we can magnetize and fill our vessel with light, so we can magnetize and manifest in like manifestor masters. When divine union is established in the heart of creation, the body, mind, and soul heal the relationship with both love and money. How many of you hate money? Have you ever hated money? It's like, oh my gosh, I wish we never had money. Like, money sucks. Money is actually evil because only the patriarchy uses money because they invented it. How many of you thought like that? Money is terrible. Ooh, I don't like money. How many of you believe that spirituality doesn't exist with money, like like Jesus, right? I think he was poor. How many of you believe like that money and spirituality don't go together? And this is where I come in and say that's wrong, because spirituality is consciousness, and consciousness is energy, and energy is everything, and money is an illusion. It's a piece of paper. It doesn't have any value. And if we start thinking in this way, we're going to magnetize shifts and create something different together. And who says that money is going to be forever? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's actually exiting our consciousness right now. But if we had the money right now to create a new software, a new system, a new anything, the money now we can use the money now to create something new and make something different, because we're still using money right now in this moment in time. Maybe you'll watch this in 10 years and this won't be relevant. Maybe in 5 years, I don't know. But right now, in this very moment in time, we're still using money. I still go to the grocery shop. I still pay rent with money. That's what we're using right now. And I still believe, I'm a firm believer that when the light beings, when the light workers, when people that have great, amazing hearts want to do good in this world, have their access to this money, we will see shifts and rapid shifts in the good things that will be on this earth. Organic food, maybe clean water around the world, all the things that already people are working on. But the more the good people will have the access to this money, more miracles will start happening. Okay, so when we merge this divine union and it's established in the heart of creation, the body, mind, and soul heal the relationship with both love and money, meaning we can transform our connection to money through love and not through, I hate it, or man, money sucks, like, because I wish it wasn't like this. And actually transform our relationship to actually bring love into it, so we can actually magnetize it, because the only way we are going to magnetize it if we start loving it and stop resisting it. Limiting beliefs that place love and money in opposition are cleared, restored, harmony and self-validation. This allows money to align with the heart of love, becoming a balanced expression of truth, devotion, and abundance. So that is day 3, really focusing on alchemizing alchemizing money into the frequency of love. Day 4 is pleasure over greed. What does that mean? Pleasure over greed. So a lot of people translate money into greed. ooh, I want to do this and this and this and this and this. And no, I'm money, money, money. It's all mine. And I'm greedy about it. And I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. And I'm going to do these things. And actually, what if you took money and you started making money, and instead of being greedy, you start coming from a place of pleasure? Huh? How many of you have resistance to pleasure or don't really know how to be in pleasure? And instead of thinking, oh, money is, I'm greedy if I want money, how about it's like, oh, if I make money and if I have money, I can actually use it for pleasure. I can go and take some time off. I can do some self care. I can get that massage. I can buy that car that will carry all my kids in it, like 3, 4 kids. I'll have a more comfortable car to carry and it'll be more pleasurable for the kids. I have a bigger house because I can do the things that I want to do. Or I personally wanted to have a health retreat center or like a healing center. And that's pleasurable. It would bring pleasure to other people. And that's not greedy. That's not coming from a place of greed. That's coming from a place of, oh, I have this abundance now. I have this money to invest in pleasurable things. So it's replacing the mind of greed. Oh, if this person is making money, they're greedy, into, oh, it's just a tool for more pleasure. How do we bring more pleasure into our experience, in this human experience, in this density, right? So day 5 is the 5th dimension and the heart of money. So here we're focusing on the energetics of money, that it's a 5th, that when I say 5th dimension, we have different dimensions, right, that we exist in. In the 3D, where we're here in this 3rd density, we're using 5 senses, right? We are using the 5 senses in our hand. Like, so we use our eyesight, our taste, our smell, our hearing, our touch. And in the 5th dimensional density, we're using our 3rd eye, we're using our psychic abilities, we're using our energetic bodies, and it's not just the physical. And so this is the transformation that we are going to work on our subconscious and our belief systems, transforming the belief that money is density, 3rd dimensional density, into money is 5th dimensional density, because it is energy like anything else. So it opens the gateway between time, and time is going to be repetitive in the 10 days that we are merging into this 10-day boot camp, spiritual boot camp. A lot of the time and space, you're going to hear time and space a lot, because time, so many people translate this time concept of how we make money, the 9 to 5 generation, the 9 to 5, I need to go to job, 9 to 5, you clock in for money, money clocks in through the hours that you invest time in, you clock out, that's how you make your money. And in 5th dimensional density, it's light currency, the light of the creator. How much light in the infinite realm of the void you can achieve and bring online to manifest what you want. It is a consciousness rather than a clocking in time. I go in, I go out, and I clock in, clock out. So the body, mind, and soul are recognized as one union, here to liberate the union of the divine heart with money as a frequency of light. Money becomes a portal of awareness, not bound by fear or lack, but expanding through time and space as devotion to freedom and creation. Here, profit and stability are no longer rooted in survival or greed, but in vital life force and divine identity. We are profiting in vital life force. We are profiting through the mana. We are profiting through the energy, kundalini energy, light energy, consciousness energy, creator energy. Creator, the light, the sun, the light of all that is, that void is what grants us our currency in order to magnetize whatever it is that we want. The higher your consciousness, the higher the light, the higher the voltage, that also you're opening, using your senses of imagination, of seeing, witnessing, feeling, knowing what you want, which is huge. Knowing what you want is huge. Like if you don't know what you want, then that's what you're going to manifest. But if you know what you want and you combine that body, mind, and soul with the frequency of light, and you open your vessel and clear this density, it's bound to happen. You're bound to magnetize. And if it's not happening, we go back inside, we take inventory again. What is stuck? Okay. Let's see what you guys are saying. People are afraid of money because energetic access creates and attracts corruption. Reciprocity in our energy exchange invites prosperity without greed or scarcity. Totally agree. And that's what we want to focus on, right? We really, really want to invite exchange and prosperity with the people that have love in their heart, that have light in their heart, that have good intention, that want to do good in the world and create that reality as what we want to see. Anybody else want to say anything so far? You're all so quiet. Andrew, Ronnie. Everybody, welcome. I had a triune bundle session with Andrew, and I gifted him his name, Ronnie, and he loves it. I love it too. It also has the word raw in it, which I love. And so Ronnie is saying sometimes you view yourself as good, but money is bad. It sends a very conflicting signal to the universe. Exactly. And we really want to focus on viewing money, the thing that puts food on your table and puts rent, right? You put it into rent or whatever it is that you're using money for. You want to be kind to it because right now it's what's providing you shelter. It's sustaining your needs, but we don't want to. We needs are good. Needs are survival, right? Like roof over your head and money, but we also want to expand. We want to co-create. We want to expand. We want to flourish. We want to be abundant. We want to create a reality. Like for me, my dream is to see buildings and cars or flying cars or whatever in the most like the design. Every time I look at a car or at a building, it bores me. It just bores. It's boring. They look so boring to me. And we can create such a cool little city or a cool little environment with architecture that is like next level. And we're not, because it's kind of like where everything's a box. A car is like you go in a plane, it's one, two, like where is the creativity? And that's like kind of like where with my artistic vision, and I love art, like for me, if there was like an endless supply of money and everybody was full in their belly and there was no hunger in the world, wouldn't it be cool to see a really artistic world out there? I mean, I don't know, it's just my vision. That's the fifth dimensional consciousness. That's the inner vision that I'd like to see. I'm like, motorhomes and all those things, they all look the same. Can it look cooler? Can it have colors? Can it have like cool shapes and geometric shapes? Like, can we actually create sacred geometry inside of all of our homes and the way we use anything? I mean, anyway, I'm just thinking out loud. All right, we're going into sequence 6. That's day 6, releasing fear of money. Now, this is huge because what if you're afraid of success? What if a person has been working really hard and really, really wanting to do good in the world, but they have a subconscious belief that if I actually succeed, if I have money, I won't have any friends. My family will leave me. What if in a past life you had money and you were married and your woman, your wife killed you because of your money? She married you for the money and then she killed you. That could be a story that happened in a past life. Then you come into this lifetime and you're trying to make it happen for you. But something in a past life, because of that frequency is still in your field, you'll never want to succeed because for you, success equals death. So you're actually afraid of money. And that is totally like once you start doing this work and you go into belief work and you find out the past life stuff, it can really, really like take you out of balance because some of the things you find out, like, and you'll know, sometimes you'll cry, sometimes you'll have a really strong reaction to a belief or something that I'm saying. Maybe even now I'm saying this and some of you may hit home like, oh my God, that's true. Like I am afraid of money. I always feel like I'm going to die if I have it. Or, we all have different imprints. Fear is huge. A lot of people do make it to the top and stay alone. Look at all the famous people. And it doesn't have to be that way. If we are with the light of the creator, if we are going with the heart of the divine and our heart is in the right place, the right people will be there, right there with you. And I believe that a lot of this new earth density, this new earth consciousness, this consciousness that we are elevating together is going to bring people together, and we're going to find ways to be tribes. The tribe, I believe that the tribe and communities of higher dimensional consciousness is uniting now, because the other way doesn't work. We thrive more when we're together. We thrive more when we were with our tribe, just like we are here. And maybe it's a virtual tribe, but it's a tribe. And we're stronger when we're together. And so releasing that fear of money is huge. This activation for this specific day transforms belief system that ties money to fear of scarcity. There's not enough, like no matter how much money I'll spend. You know, those people, actually, some people that are wealthy, that have a lot of money and they're actually rich, you know how they spend a lot of money, but they always feel like they don't have enough, like they always have to work harder. You know, billionaires out there, they already made it, but they're always like more, 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 more. I need more because there's not enough. Or people that are afraid to share their ideas or whatever because there's not enough in the field. There's so many stories, right? So fear of scarcity, fear of not enoughness, fear of loss, poverty, or even abundance itself, fear of abundance. Because if I have all the things, what if, well, I have a cute little story. One time when I was in India, I was like 22 when I was traveling there. I saw this woman that had like 20 cucumbers in the market. And I wanted to buy all of her cucumbers for me and my friends. And she said no. This is a true story. And I'm like, why don't you want to sell me your cucumbers? And she didn't tell me because she didn't speak English, but I was like, maybe she would be bored all day. Maybe she doesn't even care about abundance. Maybe it's like with her time. That was what her value was, her time. And she was scared that if she sold them or something, that she had nothing to do with their day. So she wanted to sell them one by one or something. You know, we all have like a different fear. Like, what if she had a fear if she sold everything? I don't know, she'd be bored. I'm just giving a silly example. Anyway, so these distortions cloud the heart of love and cause the body, mind, and soul to manifest fear through money rather than abundance. And so we are going to shift the mindset from fear to love and to stability, that we have confidence with money, that we're abundant with money, that we feel calm with money, that we feel expansive with money, that we feel truth with money. The opposite of fear is truth. When we are in our truth, money shows up in truth. If we're in fear, money may show up in lack, in scarcity, in loss, in many different ways, because it mirrors the frequency of fear. So by releasing these fear-based programs, the heart is cleared and liberated. Money is restored as a frequency of stability and devotion. Oh, it's here. I just wrote it and I was just saying it out loud. As a frequency of stability and devotion, no longer bound by lack, but alignment with truth of freedom and the heart of love. Sequence number 7, day 7, healing integrity with money, releasing theft energy, manipulation energy, betrayal and trauma, and align with trust and abundance. How many of you experienced theft before and left a scar in your field? I will share a personal story that you probably have no idea about me, and it's kind of comical. When I was here, actually, I'll put myself here. When I was in my late 20s, I can't believe I'm sharing this. When I was in my late 20s, me and money were okay. I was living in Israel. I was a photographer at the time, and I had a little issue with believing in myself that I was a good photographer. And really, I had a boyfriend at the time, and I thought he was amazing. I put him on a pedestal, and I thought he was the best photographer ever. And every time I was like, poor little me, I'm not a good photographer, blah, 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 blah. That was my inner story. And I decided that I was in the middle of photography school, which I went to photography school. I was doing at the time studio photography. I was completely distracted in my own little bubble. I went to a bookstore and a book fell out of the shelf that said, "How is this idiot rich and I'm not?" And it just fell. I swear, it just fell out of the shelf. So I pick up the book and I'm like, I'll read you. I bought the book. I read it at the time in like 3 days. It was about a guy that does real estate and kind of teaches you how to start with nothing. And I was like, okay. I wasn't thinking about real estate at the time, though I was thinking about, I was like, I Don't know where my ideas come from, but there was an idea to create a pancake. I called it Fun Cake. This is a true story. I thought I was going to be a millionaire from this idea that I had. It was a three-dimensional pancake. It was a little round ball that had filling in it, and there were like salty flavors, like savory and sweet flavors. And I called this company Fun Cake, and I entrepreneured this business for about a year. And I thought this was the next thing. And I signed a contract with the con artist, and he made me work for 3 months for free. And he made me hire all these people. And yeah, apparently he was a con artist and he stole everything that I had. And I ended up losing everything. This is a true story. Never thought this healer would sell pancakes or invent a pancake called Fun Cake, but this is a true story. And as you can imagine, all the idea, like I created this whole thing from scratch, and I put so much love for a full year. I thought this was the thing, and it's bigger than me. And I will never forget that the day that I went to sign the papers with this guy, I actually cleaned my car the day before. I washed my car, and I go to the car, and there's no trees above the car, and all my car was filled with pigeon poop, full, like from complete clean, like beautiful shiny car. It was full of poop, and I was like, that must be a good sign. That's pigeon poop. It must be a good sign. But I feel like my guides were like trying to wake me up to be like, you got to be mindful around this deal. Anyway, I discovered later that this man was a con artist, and then I had a decision to make. I lost everything. I had to make a decision. Am I going to whine about it and become a victim and try to sue this person? And apparently he did this to many people. He was very, very smart. He did this to many people. I'm not going to go into the whole story. I let it go, and I decided to let it go. And then I'm not putting my energy into the victim and to try to, get it back. I decided to put all my love into my art and believe in my art, because the whole reason I started that in the first place was money. I wanted to be rich because I thought that would bring me happiness at the time. And it brought me back to my art. It brought me back to my path. It brought me back to when I have nothing to lose, I will try to make something out of it. And actually, it brought me to the days of New Orleans, where I went to New Orleans and I got a permit to sell. I got a license to sell my art in the streets of New Orleans. And I had that was the beginning of a new journey in my life as an artist. It taught me everything that I know about art today, as far as like selling art and talking to people about art, what sells, what doesn't sell. It trained me for the light language art that I have today. And I feel like it really prepped me for my future. And it was I always call it was the best, worst thing that ever happened to me. It was also during my Saturn return, by the way. And I feel like that shift from understanding that anything can happen if you're not walking the path of the righteous, of your heart, of love, because I really love art. I didn't really love pancakes. I did it for the money, even though it was fun. I had a lot of fun creating that, but it wasn't my journey. I was really doing it only for the money. And that's where spirit came in and taught me that you must do something that you love in your life and not for money, because money is just, it's a thing. You want to do something that brings you joy. And that was the biggest lesson for me in this whole expansion. And so healing with the heart of integrity, the reason I'm sharing this with you, because that man was out of integrity. And what it birthed in me was also a fear of like, oh my God, if I share my art, it might get stolen online. Like I actually had that belief, and I went to a theta healer back in the day when I was studying theta healing, and I removed it. And then the next day my Instagram blew up and I had a bunch of followers. Because I had a belief that if I share it online, it will get stolen. Why did I have that belief? Because the guy that stole my idea and was a total con artist, and that was something that was imprinted in my subconscious. Suddenly it birthed a belief. And so how many of you actually experience something with theft or manipulation around money? Maybe something happened to you. Maybe in a past life, something happened to you. And it created this belief that if you do this, if you become a big shot, I don't know, if your business succeeds, if it goes to the levels where you become a millionaire, I don't know, that you will be left without anything. Maybe you'll lose everything. Maybe you have like an idea that you'll be manipulated. You'll meet people that are greedy, and they'll manipulate you. We all have all these like ideas around because of experiences that we had. So in this activation, we're going to go really deep into around the wounding around money, shock and trauma, theft, betrayal, manipulation that have left imprints of distrust, right? Trust is super important, but not just trust in people, because really you should trust yourself, but the trust in the creator, trust in the divine, trust in the light, that knowing that the divine has got your back no matter what. Those days that I was selling my art in the streets of New Orleans in the rain, there was something bigger than me telling me that I'm doing this for a bigger reason. I am here on, like, I'm learning what art means. I'm learning the crowd. I'm learning how to do this. And it was an amazing time. Actually, it sounded like I had such a beautiful time those days. They were days of simplicity. It was before my Kundalini awakening. I was definitely still in my awakening process, and all that Saturn return taught me so many things about who I am today. I am so grateful for the journey. And I was always remembering in my head, I always felt like, this is bigger me. This is bigger than me. You're doing this. There's a reason you're doing this. There's a reason you're doing this. There's a reason this happened. But I can't really see. I felt like being in like a 10-story building, but I'm on level 5 and I just can't see what's above me. I cannot fathom what's on those top layers of the levels, top levels. If you told me back then that I'm going to be having a spiritual awakening, I'll speak light language, I wouldn't even know what that is. I am going to channel art as opposed to taking photography, and I will be doing all these things and moving around the world and teaching about spirituality, I wouldn't have believed you. That wasn't part of my reality back then. It's just amazing to see how much can open up in our pathway, and how many things, when your dharma wants to come online, it will shout at you. It will direct you. I was not supposed to be a millionaire from fun cake. Definitely not. I was supposed to chop wood and carry water, sharing my divine boons or this divine information from my own life experience with the collective. That's what God wants for me. And this is what I'm doing. And you know what? It brings me joy. I love doing this work. This is my favorite place. So we want to make sure that in order to be on that dharmic path, that we are clearing this energy of wounding around money. Because if we are carrying wounds around money, if you have been cheated with money, if you've had theft, if maybe you lost everything, or maybe somebody stole all your money, I don't know. We need to work on that, right? To clear it in order for more light to come in. Day 8. Harmonize spending and saving. I know I need to learn more about spending and saving, but what if you're always saving and saving and saving and not spending? What if you're greedy or like worried or scared to even share money or to spend money because you're afraid there isn't enough? You're coming from a place of unenoughness. So in this activation, we're restoring balance in your relationship with money by healing limiting beliefs around spending, saving, and protection. If I save, I will be protected. Honestly, you might never, like, the only protection that you can count on, and this is so huge to really comprehend, is the creator. If the creator didn't want you here, it would take you away. If the creator of all that is decided that your last day is tomorrow, it would happen. So the only protection you really absolutely have is in trusting the divine, trusting the higher light. And so with that, knowing that spending and saving, that you're always protected by the higher sources of love when you have the balance on how to do so. Because you don't want to just spend it all and be careless. You really want to know where you're investing and where you're spending. Holding too tightly creates stagnancy. If you're holding money too tightly, it will create a resistance and flow. And when aligned circulation of money generates expansion. So you want to circulate money, but you want to do it in a wise way, in a way that harmonizes flow, that will also bring you more abundance. Through this process, the body, mind, and soul release old scarcity programs tied to survival and open to investments rooted in growth, wisdom, and abundance. Money becomes a partner in divine alignment, a structure that supports expansion, manifestation, and longevity. I love that word, because we really want longevity with abundance. We want longevity in our investments. We want longevity with the projects that we are creating, right? Longevity. Wouldn't it be nice to invest and spend our resources on something that will grow and expand and become strong like a really big oak tree, right? Something that will stay there for a very long time, anchored in roots and anchored in infinite blessings of the heart of love. And remember that the heart of love, that light, that love in our physical vessel, is that definition of that longevity. The stronger the light, the longer the co-creation that you are creating is going to have roots for the long ride. Yeah. All right. So sequence number 9, clearing money-based distortions in relationships. This is huge. Because in relationships, if you're married, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. If you're dating someone and you're the one always paying, or whatever it is that we have absorbed from, and I'm curious about this because like I don't have all the answers as my physical Morayana earthly being. And I'm really curious what spirit has to say about this, because there's also polarity, right? There is polarity being played out also in genders. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But there is a polarity where the feminine is the receptive energy and the masculine is the giver, right? So there is a give and take here. And into clearing money based distortions in relationships and actually learning from the highest perspective of creator what that looks like in a divine harmonious way. I'm curious what's going to come through, because I going to be channeling live and raw and organic, and the information just streams out, and I'm very curious to see what's going to come through. And it's really important that we harmonize our relationships around money. You know, today people get divorced. Who knows, maybe somebody got married because of money and then she leaves the husband and then she takes half. Like, that's not fair to the man, right? And then a man just wants to take everything. He's a taker. He's not a giver. And he takes everything from his woman, but he's not giving anything back. But she loves him, so she doesn't leave him. There's all these dynamics, right, that play out between polarities, between the divine masculine, divine feminine. And we really want to harmonize that. So this activation is going to clear distortions where money becomes confused with love in relationships. When partnerships are built on fortune, greed, or possession, union is divided, creating instability and loss of freedom in love. These patterns often lead to imbalance and separation, where money is sought as protection rather than devotion. Through this work, the heart heals its identity with money as love, restoring balance between masculine and feminine polarity. And relationships are guided back into harmony, where money supports structure and stability, but love in itself remains infinite, meaning there is no attachment between the money and love, because money is money, it's its own thing, and love is love. Giving the value of giving is related to love, by the way. Love is giving. So you can value your partner if you're a woman. And I had a rabbi one tell me this: if you're a woman and you want to know if the man is right for you, measure what he gives you. It doesn't have to be money, the time, gifts, whatever it is, time, energy, spending time with you, all the five love languages. It's good to measure to see how much the masculine, the divine masculine is giving you. Then you can measure the amount of love or how much investment he's putting in you. Time, right? Or whatever effort. The effort is a good word to use. There is like this polarity being played out, because the woman, she's the receptive. What the men puts inside of a woman, you put a seed, she brings you a baby. You give her money, she'll decorate your house. You buy food, she'll make you a meal. She expands what you give her, right? That's what the woman, the feminine, does. And the masculine is the provider, he's the protector, and all those things. So we want to bring that balance and that understanding into the subconscious and rearrange our consciousness with the healthy give and take, the healthy patterns, or the healthy traits that can be in a harmonious relationship surrounding money. All right. And healing money and gender roles. Now, this was huge because, again, there's one thing about the polarity, which are energies. And now we're actually going into the polarity, masculine and feminine can be, energies in any body. And then there's gender, actually being in a feminine body and being in a man's body and what that means, and clearing patriarchal conditioning tied to money, power, and gender. People used to get married to a woman so she can be his housewife and take care of everything and feed him and cook for him. And he had all the money and the power in the house. And we're not in those conditionings anymore. Things are changed. They have changed. And also, I'm not sure they changed all for the better, but they definitely changed for the better. But like, I think all the feminist, there's all these like movements that actually took a little bit out of the femininity and the receptivity away. And some people might not agree with me, but I do feel like gender should be honored. Like a woman should be honored in her skills, and a man should be honored in his skills and what he brings. And I do see it at two different species completely. Like the way I witness, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I'm still trying to understand the concept of gender of men because I'm in a feminine body. It's very easy for me to understand and feel women, and men are still a mystery to me. And these teachings help me understand better, but it's almost like it's just a mystery to me. And I'm always discovering more things. And then when it comes to money, we've been so deeply programmed that like men have money, they are in power. And so this goes, how I talk about, the levels of theta healing and different things that we have 4 different levels in our consciousness. When we rearrange a belief system through theta in our subconscious, it's divided to 4 different levels. One is genetics, one is the soul, one is our core beliefs, and the 4th one is history. History is dogma to me. It's like what the information they put in school books, what information they put in the radio, what information the government is giving us, right? And so I feel like this activation really goes into the patriarchy of what's been brainwashed to think around money and power. So this activation brings harmony to masculine and feminine roles, to gender roles in relationships with money by honoring polarity. Money is freed from fear, greed, and old structures and restored as frequency of light. In this balance, relationships are liberated from distortion, and money becomes a vessel of love, creation, and truth, closing the journey in freedom, devotion, and divine union. So this would be the last day of our activations. It's a journey. And yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's 10 days. It's 2 hours a day. It's a lot of patience. It's listening to me and doing my trans-shifting and channeling. And you're going to get tired and you're going to get challenged and you may get triggered because a lot of our concepts and beliefs will be coming to the surface. And it's amazing. Welcome it. It's going to be so good and so yummy because we need this. We need this expansion. We need to release the old, outdated, old earth patriarchy stuff around love and money and power and all these things that I talked about. It's just like it's going to be a really amazing journey and really deep, really, really deep. 2 hours a day starting August 25th to September 3rd. I do have an early bird price. This is 20 hours, my friends. This is 10 days and 20 hours, 10 activations, 2 hours each. And I was really debating on how to price it. I made a very friendly cost for 222 early bird. That early bird is going to go on until August 21st. It's on my website. I will pull it up. Here we go. It's on my main page. You can go to Money Activation Day series, 10-day series. It'll be right on the first front page of my website. And you can sign up to the early bird 222 for 20 hours of complete transformation in your subconscious with money. After the 21st, the price will go up to the normal price, which is priced for $444. Now, if you are experiencing financial strain or difficulty or challenge or whatever it is, I still want you there. Please email contact@Deep Intuitive Healing. I still want you there. If you need a payment plan, if you do want to, share your abundance with me and you can't do that right now all at once, we can do a payment plan. It's all good. I understand that the people that want to do this activation would want to expand their money realm. So it all makes sense to me. Don't let the payment make you think twice. We'll figure it out together. Email me, contact@deepintuitivehealing.com. No one will be shunned away. And if you want to share, there's also a sliding scale. I do believe in abundance and the energy of giving. And if you can, there is a sliding scale. If you want to share more abundance with me, that abundance helps me create more content and be on this path of service. It is through your sharing your energy with me that I'm able to share my energy with you. So, with that being said, does anybody have any questions of anything that I just shared? I would love to hear your idea. Ooh, people have been writing. I haven't even seen. Let me go and see what you guys are saying. Oh, Ariel. My issue with money, I always wash my hands when I touch money, and subconsciously I know and think money is dirty and unclean, which is true. People touch money and becomes dirty and unclean, but it's also a metaphor. Money is dirty and unclean. I should not have it. That could be a really deep subconscious belief that you're holding. And that's definitely something that can be looked at, like money is dirty, because it can be. Look at where the money is going in the world, like lots of wars and people using money for weapons and for, I don't even want to get into the darkness of the planet, but it can be perceived as dirty. But what if we used money to create healing centers and we created healthy clean water in Africa or places in the world that need clean water, and I don't know, inventing things that will bring organic food and heal the earth and the soil from all of this depletion, because the soil is experiencing all these depletion of nutrients. And what if we needed more money for research how to reverse that? Everything is reversible. Okay, so let's see what else you guys are saying. Shizem is saying, I have a fear of having a lot of money and not having anybody to share it with. Yeah, see, that's a belief. That is a belief. And we can work on that. Definitely. If I have money, I'll have nobody to share it with. We actually should first work on that you feel abundant with friends and community, and that you have a loved one, and that you're also you have a really easy, like, loving relationship with yourself, that even if you can share it with yourself, even because you have such a dope relationship with yourself and an epic relationship with yourself, and you can go to the Bahamas and enjoy and give yourself some pleasure and maybe meet somebody to share it with there. So that's another example for a belief that somebody can hold. And I'm sure that Ronnie is saying, what a great story about my about my fun cake days and the days of my New Orleans days. Okay, let's see what else you guys are saying. Shazam is saying, I did trust the creator, and he walked me to a narcissist cult Christian leader that took all my money. I had to lay down at his feet because he said he was a prophet, and I stayed there. We all have our stories. We all have our stories. And that is a good example of someone that experienced something really difficult that can leave an imprint of shock and trauma in the nervous system. That goes to the activation for the integrity, right? Like that activation of integrity, that would be a good example of where we clear that energy. We don't need that energy. We're going to clear it from there. So you don't have to hold that frequency and that memory on an energetic level in your body. When you hold a deep belief of want of anything, that is what you experience, the feeling of wanting. But when you give freely to others, the message is I have flow. The experience will match this exactly. When we are in flow, when we are in our giving, when we are giving, the universe gets a signal. It's a signal that I have abundance. I have to give. And when you give, it's just going to mirror it back to you because it has to. It's the law of the universe. There's no way around that. When you are in your giving state. All right. Well, we are here, I think, at the end of the show. If you like this information, if you want to hear more of my transmissions and my shows, please give a like, subscribe, and share, and comment on this video below. If you want to go on this money journey with me into the realms of expansion and expand the light in your body get rid of all the shock and trauma and beliefs that are not in alignment with the divine creation, with the light within us. The link to sign up is here below. I believe we start next Monday, this coming up Monday. If you cannot show up for the 2 hours a day and the timing, we start at 6 p.m. EST, and you can't make those hours, still sign up. You can watch those videos later in the day or whenever you have the time, right? It doesn't have to be with the group. You're still going to receive the transmission and the codes and the transformation and the healing, regardless if you do it live with me or not. Take advantage of the early bird. It's next week. It's up until August 21st for the 222. And the link is going to be down below. I try to make it affordable and reasonable for my time and my effort. I hope you feel that way too. And again, if you're experiencing any financial difficulty, email me, contact@deepintuitivehealing.com. We will work it out. I love you so, so much. I bless your journey. I bless your body. I bless your soul. You are a miracle as you are alive. And may you be blessed with miracles in your heart, in your experience, in this human experience, and every single moment of the day. I love you so, so, so much. I will do another show on Friday. This Friday, stay tuned for the show. And I don't know what it'll be about. It'll be partially about this, and also I may do a triune session for someone. I think, okay, that's what I'm doing this Friday coming up. I'm doing a show, picking somebody from the crowd to gift the triune session for. Thank you so much for being here. Mahalo nui loa. I love you. Blessings of love to you.